Picture this, friend 1, friend 2, and you are competing to get the most sugarcane. Friend 1 has a nice long sugarcane farm. Friend 2 has a farm of the same length, but theirs is thicker planted, meaning if they had as much water as friend 1 has, they would have a lot more sugarcane at one time. You have a dream to somehow, against all odds, beat those two stooges and put them back in their place. But how are you gonna do it? Sugarcane is a crop, and generally crops need water. Sugarcane is no exception. Unlike other crops like wheat and potatoes, sugarcane is completely bound to the block of water that it subsists on, even to the point of breaking as soon as it finds out there's not any more water beside it. This is a level of dedication unseen in the likes of wheat and carrots. Here is a demonstration of where you can see the difference between how far from water wheat can grow and how far from water sugarcane can grow. Pretty shocking, right? What you need to do is come up with an infinitely extendable pattern that uses the least water space for the most amount of sugarcane. You want to minimize bare land and blocks with 2 or more blocks of water connected to it as well. I will reveal this later, but I find it would be enlightening to attempt to find the answer yourself, so feel free to pause and think. And when you think you've got it, come back. Alright, moving on. I will be showing 4 examples from worst to best, starting with the Private Island. Private Island is a single block in the middle of a 9-block total area. Every piece of water goes into a single block, and each block gets 8 blocks of water despite only needing 1. If you use this, you are sure to lose the competition, but if you convince someone else to use it, that makes your chance of winning skyrocket. This is the classic farm. The classic farm is a bunch of columns of water surrounded by blocks. It is also the way Friend 1 built their farm. Its reckless use of water leads to not only unwatered blocks in the end, but also overwatered blocks throughout the entire thing. Friend 2's farm is a modified classic farm that fixes the overwatering problem Friend 1 has. If you use this farm or a variation, the best you can hope for is a tie with Friend 2. This is the checkerboard. Generally, the checkerboard will be half water, half sugarcane, though if you want to make the most of it, make sure there's always a block in the corner. If you use this, it completely depends on the size of all your farms if you win or lose. Now, for the solution to this problem. Have your guess? Good. This is the swastika of sugar. The swastika of sugar is what I've calculated to be the most efficient way to plant sugarcane. Every piece of water is surrounded by the max amount of sugarcane possible. It's interlocked in such a way that there's no gaps in the middle of the water sources, making it the most efficient design to exist. If you use this, you will surely win. To make this pattern, start in the middle and branch out all 4 directions like a knight in chess. Place the water where you would land and you will have sugarcane for days. Here are the efficiency calculations. If you let x be the length of one side, assume both of the farm's sides are always the same, and let y be the number of viable planting options, you get varying results. The formulas for the efficiency of these farms are these if you care to put them into Desmos and take a look for yourself. Congratulations on winning the competition. Friend 1 is looking a little salty about it though. Hold up, what's this? Friend 1 wants to do a rematch, this time for all the marbles. They say they want to farm a different item though. Amethyst. Friend 1 says they have a huge amethyst farm, the likes of which the world's never seen before. Upon closer inspection, Friend 1 does indeed have a huge budding amethyst wall. Friend 2 just made themselves a spaced out budding amethyst network. And you have prior experience working out the most efficient way to place things. Budding amethyst is similar to water, and amethyst clusters are similar to sugarcane's plantable blocks. The only difference between this situation and the previous is the addition of a 3rd dimension. So what is the most efficient way to place them? Feel free to speculate, because the best I can do is give you the best solution I've found. There may be a better one, there's certainly a lot of worse ones, and there might be that one small possibility of a perfect one. But if there's a perfect solution, I haven't found it yet. Moving on. You remember the sugarcane and think that if you do the same thing but vertical, it should work, right? So the same way you went 2 out and 1 to the side, you go 2 up and 1 to the side. This is the Amethystica. It is pretty inefficient seeing as there's so much unused space in the middle layer. In this 11 by 11 by 12 space, there are 819 used blocks. You see the problem, and you try to think more 3D. You make it the original pattern, but everything also goes up 1 or down 1 if you go in a direction. This is the aspartame network, the least efficient pattern I've created, as evident by the red checkerboard pattern I've seen while hand building it. This is the same size as the other spot, but it only has 671 usable blocks. Since this didn't go well, you decide to make it a little closer again. This time you sacrifice one specific spot to have a conflict of interest, allowing every other spot to grow as desired. This is the crystal lasagna, which is the most efficient pattern I've created. I mean, look at all those greens. This comes at the sacrifice of having some black parts, which is a space connected to 2 budding amethyst. That's bad, because if the budding amethyst was spaced out even 1 block further, it would grow 2 clusters instead of 1. Black is still preferable to red though, which is why it will count towards the total amount of growable space. This space is the same size as the others, and there are 898 green blocks. Now add the 218 black blocks and you get 1,116 blocks of total growable space. With this design, there's no way you'll lose against Friend 1 and Friend 2, but I'm sure it could be better. That's why I completely encourage you to go out there and try to make more efficient designs. That's what this video is being made for, after all. To get the community to make better and better designs until we one day reach perfection. And hey, maybe if you find the perfect design, you can name it all you want. Be accurate, be mathy, be silly, be insane. Do whatever you want with it. You discovered it after all. And I hope in the future, you always think about efficiency. Bye for now.